So W Trader also says, how did you go from a guy taking a butt-naked public shower to a guy doing CHP drive-alongs to a guy on Twitch/YouTube?
How much time do we have?
We don't have much time, so we're going to have to answer that later. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Significantly?
Significantly.
Okay. I'm going to tell you how I ended up from a butt-naked guy taking a shower with covered in sulfuric acid. I've always wanted to do television. And we actually discussed this last week.
You're so cute.
And I saw an ad in the paper for a weatherman in Salinas. And I told this story last week, but I don't mind sharing it again. And I always wanted to do TV. So I went to a TV station that was a new fledgling TV station in Salinas, KCBA 35, Fox 35, and asked for a job as a weatherman. Of course, they laughed at me, told me to go out and watch the news for 2 weeks and come back, and how would I do the news differently? I did that and went back. I came back. The news director said, you know what? You got balls. I'm going to give you a job. My first year, I learned how to shoot and edit on my own. After 1 year, I got a letter from a young lady named Kirsty Wilde. She was the anchor. Her husband was Paul Miller. He was the anchor. They were running the station at the time. They lived in Pacific Grove, I believe. She wrote me a letter and gave it and told me, take this and go down to LA and give it to this certain person at KTTV News in LA. Now, I had 1 year experience.
This was like before email.
This is way before email. This was just a letter.
She gave you a handwritten letter to go all the way to LA.
I took the letter, put it in my car. I had a piece of crap Toyota Corolla that, you had to stick shift and, blah, blah, blah. I drove all the way down there, walked up to the guy and said, hi, how you doing? Stanley Roberts. Kirsty Wilde told me to tell you hi. Kirsty, oh my goodness. She told me to give you this.
Were you dressed in a suit when you did that?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I'm going down there for a job in Los Angeles. Philadelphia boy going to LA. No, not KSBW 8, KCBA Fox 35. Different channel. Anyway, so I give him the letter. He opens it up right on the loading dock. He reads it. And the letter said verbatim, hey, this is Kirsty Wilde. This is Stanley Roberts. Could you please give him a job? Oh, and by the way, do not let him eat your almonds, because Kirsty always brought almonds to work, and I was always, chomping down on almonds. That's why I don't like them now, because I eat so much of them. And he said, and his exact words were, when can you start? When can you start? And I was like, wait, what?
You didn't even live in LA.
I didn't have an interview. It was, when can you start? That was the whole thing. That's my whole interview. I didn't have to meet with 12 people.
Oh my gosh. When I went for an interview in LA, I had my interview was 5.5 hours.
And I started TV in 1991. KTTV, Fox 11. But just for the record, I was something called a per diem. So it wasn't like I was a full-time staffer. I went from $9 an hour at KCBA Fox 35 to $25 an hour, literally overnight. And that was the best job I ever had, because I was in LA and I was and they treat you in LA differently than any other place I've ever been to.
That's true. Yep.
Literally in LA, if you say you work in television, you're a celebrity.
It's completely different than here in Arizona or even in San Francisco.
And you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go to a club in the Century Club in Century City, LA. I would pull up in my piece of crap Volvo by then. It was a Volvo that I loved. No, it really had discolor paint, but it was mine. But they knew me, and they go, oh, that's the dude from, whatever
and it
station.
took you from A to B to C to D,
right.
So that means that it actually was a great car.
It was a great car.
Yeah.
And they would take my car and valet park it next to Bentley's.
So what did you think when they parked it right next to did you ever look at it and just say, wow, hopefully I'll have one of those?
No, I never really,
okay.
I personally, in my entire life, have never really wanted to be that guy with the Bentley, because more money, more problems. I always wanted to be that guy who just had something that was doing something good and making a difference. That's why I'm trying to do this. Mr. Bally Productions, it's not about me getting rich and then forgetting everybody. It's me making a difference and then hopefully hiring other people to do, or people who want to learn how to do it. The business has changed.
It has changed. It's changed from when I started.
It's changed
15 years
because
ago.
it went corporate. There's a lot more corporate involved. A long time ago, it was news people running news. Now it's General Electric. It's
big corporations.
Big corporations, and they have stockholders. And stockholders want to see their money. They want to see a profit.
But when it boils down to it and it comes back, it's always about money.
Always going to be about money.
It doesn't matter what industry it is. It's always about money. How can I get more money? Or how can I make more money off the money I have? But so I wonder though, are there any companies or any industries out there where it's not always about the money?
Yes, Mr. Badley Productions. That's all I can talk about right now. That's all I want to know. Everything else is all about how rich can we get. So back to the whole TV thing. So I worked as a per diem for Fox 11. And as a matter of fact, I have in my closet one of the very first Bart Simpson watches that were ever made by 20th Century Fox when they first launched Fox. And it's the only one it's only a few that were made. I brought it for $20, $19.99 off of 20th Century Fox because I had ID as a per diem for Fox. I was allowed access to anywhere in any studio in Fox television. So it was like the coolest thing. I could drive on a lot. I would bring my friends to visit and say, "Hey, you want to go to Fox Studios?" And they go, "Sure." And we drive on, and I wouldn't have to. I just show them the ID, and they go, "Have a good day."
Yeah, it actually changed a lot when I got into
this. It changed a lot now. You have to go through a whole bunch of jump through hoops because idiots have made it unsafe.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I went and I brought this watch. It's a Bart Simpson watch. I've never worn it. It has a Bart. The only one where the actual arms of Bart Simpson move. Like the other ones are just, the watches. His arms
are the hour and the minute?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
You'll never find, if you can search every single day for the rest of your life, you will never find that watch. I found it once and it was on I found one of them once and it was
So you got a collector's item then.
So wait, when I found it was 10 years ago and it was worth $500 then. I also have a very rare first edition Men in Black watch that I will admit I've worn it, but it's so rare that that watch itself is probably worth about $700. I didn't get it off a studio. I found it in a pawn shop in California. But the point I'm trying to make is that I worked for KTTV, Fox.
You went on a tangent.
Because you get me excited about what I love to do.
Yeah.
I love to do what I've been doing for years. And then I realized, and this is what changed everything for me, not in a bad way, but what made me realize I need to focus on one particular station and not a bunch of them. Because I was doing ABC, CBS. Betty, they can try to rob me. I got something for them. I got some anti-robbery spray here. They can come on, bring it. And plus, no one knows where I live at except for maybe Gabe, because I'm sure he's already figured it out by now. And Gabriel, sorry, I didn't mean to say Gabe.
Oh my gosh.
And plus, it's in a deposit box in a bank. It's not just sitting in my house. I'm not that silly. But back to what I'm trying to say is that so KTLA, KTTV, KABC, KCBS, and also I worked for Telemundo, which was funny because I don't speak Spanish. But as a photographer, I didn't have to learn Spanish. So I would go out and do a story with Telemundo, and I had no idea what the story was about, except for the fact that the reporter would tell me that we're going there because someone got X, Y, Z. Because
the reporter would speak English to you.
To you, right.
But report in Spanish.
But no one else, until they had me try to edit. I'm like,
oh my gosh, yeah, that would be bad.
I'm like, I can't edit. I don't even speak Spanish. So then all of a sudden, but I figured out one day and I figured out because I worked, this time I was working for the 3 stations in a row. And I showed up at KTLA at 9:00 in the morning for my shift.
And it was the wrong station.
And they're like, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here for work. I said, no, you don't work here today. I said, I don't. Oh, no. I looked at my schedule and I was actually working for KCBS, which ironically was only a block away.
Well, thank God. So you were like 10 minutes late?
But that's when I realized that I can't stretch myself that thin.
Yeah.
I need to stick one and stick with it and not try to do multiple things. So it's good to multitask. It's good to multitask.
Sometimes.
But it's not good if it's going to interfere with what job you have.
Yeah.
And so stories I've covered, the LA riots was one of my first ones. I got an Emmy nomination. Yes, an Emmy nomination for something called the Battered Badge, which was a dichotomy between LAPD and how they treat people that are poor as opposed to how they treat people in the rich neighborhoods. And back then, Daryl Gates was the chief of police. He wrote us a letter thanking us for doing the story right. So that was one of my first interactions with LA law enforcement. I did TV show LAPD, the TV series. I did a little short stint with cops. So I've been doing TV for a long time, and it's always been around that whole law enforcement thing because that's where I'm comfortable with. That's what my expertise is. So if I make, if I'm an expert at making popcorn, I'm not going to start making, pizza because that's not my expertise. I stick with what I know. How'd you get in TV?
I don't know. Do we want to talk about that?
You got a few minutes.
Basically, I went to college and I was a business major. And halfway through my 4 years, I decided that I wanted to do something in media. And I actually changed my major to media studies with a minor in journalism and kept the business as a minor. And then started writing for our school university newspaper because we didn't have broadcast. And then got an internship at a place that...
Yeah. Anyway, so...
got an internship and then got a job.
Ironically, Betty asked that question, not about that, but she says, was crime an accident? Okay, so here's how I ended up at crime. I personally never applied for a job at crime. I'll say it again. I personally never applied for a job at crime. I was completely content with being in LA. Then one day while playing golf, my phone rings. When the phone rings, there's a guy on the back of the line called Don Sharp. He says, "Hey, Stan, this is Don Sharp from Crime 4 News in San Francisco." I'm like, "Okay, how'd you get my number and how can I help you?" He says, "Any interest in working in the Bay Area?" And I'm like, "Well, I go there to visit, but I've visited them Salinas, but I've never thought about working there." He says, "Well, would you like to come down and interview for a position? We have a position." And at that point, they were NBC. We have a position for a photographer and a cameraman or a photographer. I said, "I'll tell you what, I vacation in Capitola every summer. I rent a house out there in the summer, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to be down there anyway."
Summer in Capitola?
Summer in Capitola. And I said, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to already be in the area. Why don't I just come down? We can meet." And this was, I think, July 1st, because my birthday was July 2nd. So I went down, met with him. I had an interview. The interview lasted for, whatever it was. And they said, "Okay, we'll give you a call in 2 weeks." So I'm like, "Okay, 2 weeks, cool." So I went back to Capitola, went down to the pier on the July 1st, put my fishing rod in the water, and was fishing. Just kind of having a relaxing day. My phone rings. It's Don Sharp again. Not 2 weeks, maybe 2 hours. And he says, "Hey, we want to offer you a job." And I'm like, "What? What happened to the 2 weeks?" "We love what you do. We want to give you a job." "Okay, can I think about it?" "Sure." So I told him, "Okay, I'll think about it." And I said, "Okay, I'll tell you what." I thought about it for a few days. And this is around the same time that they had the shooting at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. So that was one of the first time they had a shooting before they started putting metal detectors in there. So I'm watching that from KTLA, watching Channel 4 News down there, not realizing that was the same station because that's Capitola, it's Santa Cruz. And after that, I told him I'll start August 25th. And so I was hired. See, the biggest misconception is that I was hired as a reporter. I was not. I was never hired as a reporter. I became a reporter by accident. That's where the accident happened at. I was hired as a photographer/editor and live truck operator. So I had a big truck with Crime 4 on it, and my job was to drive around and do live shots and assist the reporters in turning stories. And so in 2006 or 2005, they created something called a BJ program, and that's how I became a VJ, which is a video journalist. I was never had a contract, but just kind of, made me in what it is, and that's everything went from there. And I come up with the idea for people behaving badly, and that's how it came down. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now back to Diane. We actually met at crime.
Yes, we did.
And that's how we ended up meeting each other. So we mentioned that already. So is that when you left crime, August 25th? I left August 25th. Ironically, I lost 20 years to the day that I left crime was the exact same day that I started, 20 years later. And to answer Betty's How long? I mean, William Trader. How did you learn to work the camera? Self-taught. I taught myself in Salinas. I wanted to learn. My first, and I don't mean to cut Diane out of this whole thing because
you're not cutting me off.
It's important that we both comment.
It's okay.
But here's how I learned how to shoot camera. I wasn't satisfied with so I learned how to shoot editing. I learned how to edit because someone said, hey, I realized that when I got hired at KCBA in Salinas, I was hired as basically a janitor that does studio camera. And the scariest time of my life, I swept floors, changed light bulbs, and did studio cam. And I realized that at some point in my life, that could be easily replaced. So I asked a guy named Nigel. I think he was the ops manager there. Hey, how can I learn how to edit? He said, hey, read this book, and then we'll go talk about it. Well, I accepted the book, went into a room, locked myself in, and didn't read the book, just played with the editing software. And then the next day I said, hey, I know how to edit. He goes, wait, how did you go from learning how to edit? I mean, you tell you read a book and you know how to edit in one day. And what I told him was, I'm not really good with theory. I'm better with being practical and doing it myself. And so I taught myself how to edit because at that point I had a photographic memory. So everything I did, I knew it already. I never had to do it again. That's what happened with photographer. I grabbed a camera and wanted to learn how to shoot. So I went out and shot little things here, shot things there, asked questions about weight balance and all that stuff like that. And then here's where my big break came. And I use the word break because, and you're right. Robotic floor director is probably replaced by robotic cams. That is exactly right now. That's what's going on.
Correct.
So that's how everything changed. So this is how things changed for me. The Persian Gulf War, the first one, kicked off. There was a huge protest at UC Santa Cruz in Santa Cruz, obviously. The bureau chief for Santa Cruz was named Mark Jeanette, and he apparently broke his leg on that day. The news director said to me, can we have anybody that can go out to Santa Cruz and cover this protest? Because it was a sit-in. They were protesting the war. And then no one was available. So I raised my hand. And of course they were like, they weren't really thinking about me going out to cover it. They said, okay, here's a camera. You know how to shoot it. Go out there and cover it. I went with a reporter, Dale Race. No, was it Kimberly Plummer? It's either Kimberly Plummer. I think it's Kimberly Plummer. She's another anchor that was out now. But we went up there, we shot it, we came back. Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't like this Superman photographer that went out there and shot the incredible story in the whole world. But I shot enough to get us on the air. And in news, sometimes you just got to do enough to get on the air. It aired. The next day, I was told by the news director that I am now the new Santa Cruz bureau chief photographer, chief photographer for Santa Cruz. Can't say it right. Chief photographer for Santa Cruz. And this was my 6 months into the job. So for 6 months, I worked in Santa Cruz. I drove every morning from Salinas to Santa Cruz and shot stories.
You lived in Salinas?
I lived in Salinas, and I drove from Salinas to Santa Cruz.
You worked at Cron?
No, this was when I worked at KCBA.
Oh my God, why did I get so confused? Okay, got it.
So there we go. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. And, see, I don't know why, but I love talking about this stuff. I don't get a chance to talk about it enough, but my job has always been fun.
Santa Claus.
Yes, chief photographer of Santa Claus. Yes, I covered. Actually, there wasn't Santa Claus. There's a Santa Claus lane in Santa Cruz. So, I was the chief photographer of Santa Claus, technically. So that's it in a nutshell. Okay, so I know I've said any questions, but we forgot to do?
What?
Well, we didn't forget it. We have, so let me stop. Can you mention some of the stuff we got going on, the different, things that we have happening? So the mask and the different, we have gear.
That's all your detail. Go ahead.
But you know this stuff.
Yeah, but I forget the name of the company.
You don't have to say the name of the company. Just say that we have gear.
Okay, we have gear.
Okay. You finished?
Yeah.
So we have gear now. We have embroidered gear, and we have This is embroidered, and we have them in hats now. You can get an embroidered hat. There's a link on there. And also the giveaway. We give away the mask for the first 3 minutes. We were talking about, we had a keyword.
Yeah. And if you can guess the
But
keyword, you can only type it in once in the chat. Type in what you think the keyword is. And if you get it correct, then we will. And
no one's ever worn this one because the ones that we've worn, we've cut the tag out. So these are still in the bag. Just like my address on the other side. And then, they'd be like zooming in on the address and then coming to get them. So if you can figure out the word, you get a free mask and a sticker. And if you're lucky, you might even get a new keychain. So we give you 5 minutes. Ooh.
You okay?
Drink the water and it's like, well, I didn't go down yet. So if you can guess the word.
That is incorrect.
That's incorrect,
Gabriel.
but I will admit you were close.
How was that close?
Okay, sorry. Chocolate cake. Oh, that would be a good one if it was.
Did we even say chocolate
We
cake?
did mention it once when I said, but I said, God is, Dad is great. Okay, chocolate cake. But remember, we mentioned the word multiple times.
Yes.
So it wasn't like a one word mention. We mentioned it over and over and over.
Rumpelstiltskin. Definitely
We've
not.
never mentioned Rumpelstiltskin. So, we know the word.
Of course we do.
Oh, and by the way, we are getting an upgrade tomorrow.
Yes. Nope, not camera.
We're getting an upgrade tomorrow. Because we found out that we got shenagled. We're not going to say the name of the company because we want them to fix it first. But we just say that they're going to come here and give us super high-speed internet.
Water. Oh, Betty, you can only guess once, but it's definitely not water either.
Mm. Yeah, what was the word again?
Really? You forgot?
I'm kidding.
Okay.
So anyway, that's pretty good from Trader Over. I mean, they're in the right area, but they're just not in the right word.
They're not even in the right area.
They're not?
No.
What?
You can't hear me?
No, say it again.
Here, I'll do it like this.
No, because they can all see that.
No, they can't. I'm not.
What was it? Oh, that's right. Why did I think it was something different?
I have no idea.
Dang,
if you can't remember the word,
how
and
can they
let's say
remember it?
I forgot it. If I forgot it, then there would be no point to this.
Oh, man. You know what I was thinking?
What? Type it.
I was thinking, no, it's okay.
Okay, tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
All right, anybody, any last guess? I know, Chris, you didn't guess.
So the first 3 minutes is what the thing is. And we said it, and we meant it, but, explicitity. No,
explicity.
do we even use that word?
No.
No, I think he's thinking about the word.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have?
So we have, on the new embroidered page, they have bags, and I think we're going to have like water bottles pretty soon. Yes, I guess the bank, but the bank is not right.
Yeah, Betty Veronica's asking if Gabriel guessed.
Oh, yes, he best bank, yes.
So anybody else did not guess that we're missing? If not, we will tell you the word.
In a few more minutes. We have one more minute left before we can do it.
One more minute, okay.
So thumbs up for trying. At some point, we're going to get a winner. Too bad we don't have like a money pot, and every time they don't get it right, the money grows. And then we got $10,000 and no one has picked it yet. Do you know how many people would be on our page if they thought we gave away 10 grand?
A lot.
It would be so many people on here. It would be like scrolling like crazy. You wouldn't be able to keep it track.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you're listening, some people, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it without saying names, decided that they no longer were going to participate in this process because we had the subscription for Twitch, and apparently they thought that the subscription was too high. So and apparently if you didn't subscribe, you couldn't comment. So we took that feature away. So now you can just comment without having to give up $3.99 a month. I didn't realize it was money involved in it. If had I known that, I probably would have done it right away. probably do that better when you have like a huge crowd. We used to have we had a huge crowd when we were doing YouTube, but we can't because we have an agreement with Twitch that we have to stream exclusively for the first 24 hours. So this has to be with them for 24 hours before we can put it other places. So we had a conversation last week and people are like, well, go live and tell us you're going to be here. I'm like, come on, man, just subscribe. It's free. You get an alert. When I find work, I'll definitely do a paid sub. It's not, and thank you, Betty. It's not about, I really enjoy talking with you guys. If we could do this for free, if you could do it for free, we would. We would honestly do everything for free if we had money just coming out of our ears. But we don't. We rely on people to join. And I want to thank, we have several people that have joined our Patreon page. So it's starting to pick up a little bit of steam. We have some people, one person that joined the YouTube. I think it was one person.
The YouTube.
So and then one guy called me. He goes, well, tell me what I can do to help. I want to know what I can do to help so I can help, right? So I said, well, do you want to help long-term or do you want to help short-term? He said, I want to help. Just tell me which ones there are. So then I told him that we had posted that we were trying to reach a budget of $5,000 a month because that would cover me traveling around, shooting the stories that you guys want to see because that's what you asked for. And then he goes, oh, I don't have that kind of money. I'm not asking for you to give me $5,000. I'm saying is contribute and help build up the treasure chest. So why ask me? And then he says, I want to fix budget. I get it. But don't ask me how to do it if you really never had intention to do it. Because that's like me saying, hey, how do I cook dinner when I never have well, you cook me dinner, but I have no intention of eating. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, we don't even no need. Well, no, Betty, I understand. I love the Santa Claus thing. Stop that with the Santa Claus. She's making fun of me, right?
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. You remember that time? Little girl one day in Oakland, and this was around the holidays.
I think I wasn't there.
And I had on the Santa hat, just kind of like, it was like I wore it just to make people feel brighter. And little girl, they were all, how the kids were all in line, and they're walking down the street, and this little black girl in the back looks at me and she goes, Santa.
Aww.
And I was like,
not really, but thanks.
Okay, awkward. And my beard wasn't like this. It was still kind of like salt and peppery.
Then why would you think you were Santa?
I don't know. I give up. Anyway, we thank you all for joining us as usual. I think we discussed everything, right? We discussed the things that we talked about.
Yeah, we did discuss the things we talked about.
No, I mean the subjects that we had mentioned.
We addressed the bank. We addressed the would you pray over leftovers?
Okay, and then what was it? What was the word?
And the phrase
was leftovers.
Was leftovers.
Yes. Oh, and also, Jace, if you're watching. Someone last week did some bits. Happy Juneteenth. And I missed it because we had logged off already. And thank you, Gabriel. Summer starts in 44 minutes for you. But for us, it's 2 more hours. Starts at the same time, right? So ours starts later. So you're lucky you get summer before us, but we get winter before you. We don't. It was a joke.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand. I feel like I'm going to start sneezing in a second.
Don't.
I won't.
Don't.
I'm not.
Don't.
I'm trying not to.
Okay. Also, we have, yes, it started 11 hours ago in Hong Kong. Also, got to say this one. This is important. There's a new variant of COVID. Delta variant. It's 60% more contagious. It's starting to take over in Europe, UK. They're having lockdowns, but then as my daughter said, they have lockdowns every couple of weeks. I want you guys to be safe out there. Be careful so we don't go backwards. Because right now, I'm watching in Milwaukee. They were showing the game in Milwaukee. And
no, don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look.
They lost.
Don't look.
The Sixers lost.
Don't look.
I already seen the guy with the hats going like this, with the Hawk thing going, I won, we won, we won. and everybody
We
cleared
should
out.
turn off the TV instead of leaving it on mute.
So
I thought you would have figured because Trey Young's talking.
No, I didn't see that. I just saw the guy with the going like this, and I knew, and he had a Hawks jersey, and that's a sign of we won.
Yeah, sorry,
And I'm
babe.
like, the Sixers, as you don't know, I'm a 76ers fan.
76ers just lost against the Hawks.
They're out.
So they're out of the playoffs. So the Bucks and the Hawks will play now. So we can go root for the Bucks.
I am off of TV now. I'm done with the games. My team is out.
Get vaccinated. Yes, we are fully vaccinated.
I'm on Twitter at Stanley Roberts.
And I'm on Instagram at D_Faith.
We want you to know that subscribe to us. Even if you're not here live and you just watch us on the re-edit, we repost.
Newsmax City, no, I'm not his daughter.
But thank you for joining us, Newsmax City. She is not my daughter. I think, is that?
I mean, we haven't had to explain this in like.
She has more gray hair than I have.
I definitely do not.
She has more gray hair than I have.
You need to get your glasses checked because I do not have more gray hair than you.
But you have gray hair.
I do have gray hair.
Okay.
But not as much as you.
All right. So my oldest daughter lives in another country, and my youngest one lives in another world.
She's an alien.
She's an alien. So we want to thank you guys. Remember, I don't remember, and I guess it looks 100% black.
Wow. Well, my hair is actually dark brown, but thank you.
We should get a shirt that says "Not his daughter."
You need to wear a t-shirt. Not his.
Ironically, it only happens in certain places.
Oh my gosh, we should get shirts that say that. That would be so awesome with the arrows. Yeah, well, no, okay, my bad.
It's we go places, and we went to this meat market, and the lady goes,
"Oh man,
I bet you get that. I bet you've had that all the time growing up, haven't you?"
Because he was making these like really bad jokes, and so I kind of had this look on my face, and then she goes, "Man, I bet you grew up with that, huh?" And I was like, "Yikes! I definitely did not grow up with that because that's not my dad." I didn't say that, but so he clarified everything because I just felt super awkward, and he can see it in my face.
So, but the weirdest thing is, my youngest daughter, people have said, "Is that your wife?"
I feel like we say this like every other podcast.
Well, because we have new people.
Yeah.
Like we like to welcome Newsmark City.
Mac City.
That's what I meant to say. Newsmac City.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Newsmac City, do you work in news? Do you work in news, or do you just have the word news in there? Because I want to know if you work in news. I mean, I just want to know because, I'm a news person, and I relate to other news people sometimes. So anyway, I'm a millennial.
I'm a boomer.
And we want to thank you
for joining us.
Because we really enjoy having these conversations.
Clean them glasses, Stanley. Yep, for real.
I just cleaned them.
Not well enough.
Oh, because I spelled it wrong?
Yeah, because you can't read.
I can never read. Are you kidding me? That was the dumbest thing I could have made was phones because I have to read it.
You're reading a computer.
I know. And it's like Newsmack City.
Oh, Newsmack City is homage to my favorite movie, New Jack City.
Oh,
we read it as Newsmack City.
Because we
so
news people.
Got it. Okay.
Eyewitness News, real Mike H. Eyewitness News. I used to call Eyewitness News I Missed It News. So when I worked at Cron and Channel 5 would show up, I always said, "Oh, look who's here. I Missed It News."
I Missed It News? Oh, because they came late?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what happened?
Shady.
I don't. And so this is my thing. Well, thank you for watching I Missed It News. We tell you what happened, but we missed it.
Oh, man. Last year you read Hubba Bubba instead of Hubba Hubba.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you even remember those things?
Okay, I can tell you why. Gabriel just graduated from high school.
Okay.
He didn't even know what.
Okay, let's not talk about that. And then?
So he doesn't really have he has a lot of time on his hands.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyway, Hubba Bubba.
Hubba Bubba.
It's a
Hubba
gun.
Bubba. Hubba Hubba. Yeah, that news can be misleading. Laugh out loud.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Okay.
Okay. It's time for me to go to bed. It is my bedtime.
It is past your bedtime.
It is past.
But okay. Realistically,
it's nearly my bedtime.
Realistically, You always say you're going to bed at.
I'm not busting myself out. I'm not busting myself out here. I'm not busting myself out. I'm not. Good night.
We love you guys. One day it might just make a comment for misreading the millennial boom for the past 17.5 months.
Oh my gosh, Gabriel, if you made that, I think I might just end up collapsing on the floor.
You should make it. I love it. It's fun. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Unless, of course, you're, what's that guy's name who hung himself? Who hanged himself? Jeffrey Shapiro or Jeffrey Epstein. There's no such thing as bad publicity unless you're Jeffrey Epstein. That is bad.
I think you said his name like completely wrong and like, let's not talk about that. Jeez Louise. This just took a weird turn. Let's go back to 1987 when you should have bought me toys. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Now that's a weird turn. Love you guys. Keep driving the fire segments. Oh,
fire segments and content. The segments are fire.
I love it when you call me Big Papa.
I love it when you don't rap. Please stop.
How you living, Biggie Smalls? I'm not. All right.
Dude, did you have some coffee or something? What is your deal? Chris said, oh, damn, it went weird again.
Now they know I have a very dark sense of humor.
Gabriel said if he makes the compilation, will you play it live next weekend?
Yes, make it and I'll play it live.
Oh, gosh, I'm scared.
Yes.
I love it when you don't rap.
Throw your hands in the air if you a true player.
Okay, they said they love it when you don't rap.
I know, but my glasses are dirty, so I couldn't see that way. Sometimes people ask me related to him. I say yes, he was my great-grandfather.
Damn, it might fall on the floor again. Hey, I'm okay with that. I'll wear knee pads next week.
Yeah, someone commented about you falling on the floor laughing.
I have not done that in a while, actually.
I haven't said anything funny enough, huh?
No, you have.
And you know what? Who else hasn't joined us in a long time?
Who?
Jeanette.
Oh, yeah. Do you think she still makes gumbo?
Why she watching Gumbo and watching Columbo?
Why'd you say while she's watching Gumbo?
Columbo. Making gumbo.
Making gumbo. Did you say something about Dumbo?
With ears as big as Dumbo?
Oh my gosh.
All right. We got to go.
Okay. You at karaoke would be life. Oh my gosh. Him at karaoke would be death.
So my last comment about karaoke. So I'm black. Did you ever notice?
You are?
Did you ever notice I'm black?
Holy.
Isn't that crazy?
I had no idea.
Okay.
Wait.
No,
hold on.
Wait,
hold on.
So I'm doing karaoke,
you're
right?
Black?
Yeah. So I'm doing karaoke in Salinas, in San Francisco. In the old station, we all go down there to do karaoke, all the friends, just regular employees. And so I decided to do karaoke. So I get up there and I'm on stage and everybody's expecting me, and that's why I mentioned the black part. That's gonna be doing rapping Biggie Smalls or Tupac. And I did Toto, Africa. I bless the rains down in Africa.
Okay.
Blew people's minds. And that note, we got to go.
Yes, I'm telling you to stop.
So that's why I mentioned because they assumed that I was going to sing rap, and I didn't rap. I sang Toto.
Oh, you're so cute.
I blessed the rains down in Africa, and I knew the words. And guess what? I got you know how you get rated?
Yeah.
I got 100%. 100%.
All right. Well, thanks for letting us know. That was a great story. I think we'll be on our merry way now.
Yes, we will. As our crowd gets really big, you want to keep going? I mean, the crowd's like surging right now. No, you have to go to bed.
I have to go to bed. If you want to keep going, by all means.
No. You know what? You go to bed, and I'm going to ask for some questions. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. We want to thank you for showing up. And Betty, we thank you for clarifying of the upside down smiley faces.
No, she's thanking you for clarifying that you're black.
I know.
Oh, okay.
No, she was clarifying why I said I'm black. Oh. Because of the...
He had coffee, I think. He's got too much energy right now.
Bye. And everybody who dropped in bits, I don't know if you did or not, but we want to thank you for that. We appreciate it. And we may give away a gift subscription next week. And I did not have coffee. Oh, yeah, we did. I had...
Yeah, me on the other hand, though, I'm tired.
I had Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
But I drank more than you.
Okay, good night.
Good night. How did I push the button? Which one?
Remember when I used to have to get up to turn off the camera?
That's when we had the phone.
Oh, that's right.
Now no phone. Now we're doing it big